Hello, 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 you guys. Yep, we are back with another beautiful Black businesswoman, and I cannot wait to tell you about her. I'm excited. Are you excited? We've been doing a lot of Black businesswomen, and these have been some really dynamic women. Have they not? Yes, they have. Okay. So in this interview, we're going to sit down with Jennell Moody, the founder of LoveJennell, to discuss her journey from being a teen stylist to building a thriving beauty and fashion brand. She shares the bold moves she's made from her first salon, the lessons she learned from stepping into her handbag industry, and how her identity as a Black woman has shaped her entrepreneurial path. Whether you're an aspiring entrepreneur or simply love a great fashion design success story, Jennell's wisdom and authenticity will leave you feeling inspired. Hello, Jennell.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. How are you today?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good.
First, thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you for inviting me.
This has been awesome.
Mhm.
Okay, so you've been in the beauty industry since your teens. How
Yes.
has your early experience working in salons shaped the way you built and branded LoveJennell?
So basically, me being in the salon industry, I have been in the salon industry all of my life, starting from 13, um, working in African braiding salons, and then just going and, being a shampoo girl, and then just
Mhm.
venturing into just, my own self. The industry, I can say, for me was hard because as we do know, like some Black stylists sometimes, we're not as giving. So I didn't have like a lot of mentorships or anything like that. And then just being a city girl, it was hard to find, those mentorships. Or to even find stylists that were doing the type of hair that I wanted to do, which was like TV hair, the Nia Long and all that. 'Cause I was
Mhm.
specializing in
Mhm.
short hair. And they just wasn't doing that. Like, back then they were wearing weaves and just braids and stuff like that. So it was just hard to, I think, kind of navigate. So a lot of my inspiration came from TV, came from movies, came from people like Kim Kimball, just the stylists that made way for the beauty industry as far as like in film and TV and stuff like that. And that's who I kind of wanted to gear myself toward. And then I started saying, oh, I think I like this fashion thing. So, they kind of, fashion has always been like hand in hand with me. Like I went to fashion school, in New York. So it just always was like hair, fashion, and I could never like really just get the two. Like, which one do you really want to do? So I spent most of my time doing hair and being a stylist and being creative. And of course, it was easy. It came easy to me. So.
Okay, now your brand Love Janelle is about more than just beauty. It's about confidence, it's about
Yes.
empowerment and
Yes.
self-expression. How do
Yes.
you ensure those values remain at the core of your business?
Oh, so basically just me, coming being a city girl, being a child of a single mother,
Mhm.
I would say, and just constantly having to reassure myself, when you're in a single parent home and you're not, you're a city girl and you don't have a father around, it's sort of hard to just get those values, so just going through life, bad relationships and, just having that turmoil, you have to constantly find your way back to yourself. You
Yeah.
constantly have to find your way back to loving yourself. So that's what kind of pushed the name like Love Janelle, and Love Janelle is just actually signing that letter at the end. It can be, you know, love you write your letter just like you say dear black, dear black woman, you write your letter and at the end love Janelle, so that
And
you're reassuring yourself that you're loving yourself.
let me tell you something. We talked about my book, Dear Black Woman. So there they are letters, but guess what it says at the end of it? It says love me.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
I ended with love me so that as Black women are reading it, it's something that they're reading to themselves from
That's right.
themselves. Yeah.
Yes, and it reassures you, if nobody else loves me, I love me, and the more you
Yep.
love yourself, the more people love you.
That's
you
right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Now, you mentioned in our pre-interview that you've taken unconventional steps like using your student loan to fund your first salon.
Yes.
What are some of the bold moves you made in your own? What are some of the other bold moves you sort of made on your journey that have shaped your business success?
Oh my goodness. So just I can just say with me, I think I lacked a lot of just mentorship,
Okay.
and how to find a mentorship and different things like that. So I had to be very resourceful, like very resourceful when it came to things, doing fashion shows, just basically putting myself out there, getting myself to meet people. One bold move that I remember taking, I remember Atlanta. This was when Atlanta would have like the big, they still had Bonner Brothers, but this was like when social media didn't exist. And I kept telling my mom, I might have been like 21 years old. And I was like, Mom, I'm going to Atlanta. I'm going to Atlanta. And I swear I had $400. I didn't pay for a hotel room. I didn't flew down there. And I remember we had to do we had to do the hair show. So it was like one of those shows where you cut the weaves online, like you cut the weaves right there on stage and everything.
Jennell, first of all, I am your age and I am from Atlanta. I know about those Bronner Brothers hair shows.
Yes,
And they,
yes.
do you remember that they used to design and
Did
do
the
them hair
design,
any
they
kind of way?
design,
Helicopters, all
do
kinds of
all that
stuff.
stuff. So
Yeah.
I would be in the I think they were like 60-minute competitions. And in these competitions, you had to, braid the hair up, you had to put the weaves in, you had to cut it and style it all in 60 minutes. Like, so that
Mhm.
was like a really big deal. And I remember the first show I lost, I was so, to myself embarrassed. But I was always one of those people who can like hold an embarrassment, like, oh, it is what it is. I'm gonna figure this out. I'm gonna do better tomorrow. And I
Yeah.
remember sitting in my room and just crying, like, oh my God, you brought me all the way down here and I ain't win nothing. I ain't do nothing. And the next day I went and banged that thing out, won $500 because that was my little hustle, bang that thing out. And I mean, from there it was just up. So they were like the bold moves that I would take, just like not knowing anybody, and now I wouldn't do that, of course, because the older you get, you're like a little bit like, no, I would never do that. But back then I was just like open and free. And I would just go to Atlanta and I would go to Virginia, wouldn't know anybody, just go down there meeting people, doing shows. And that's kind of how I would say I got my skin in the game.
We was brave when we was
He was
young.
brave. He was brave. I mean, now you can't even get me to really catch a New York ride by myself. I'm like, don't nobody want to go with me.
We were brave when we was younger.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Now the hair industry was your first love, but
Yes,
you expanded into handbags.
yes.
Now, what inspired you to take the leap into fashion, and how do you balance the two industries?
Okay, so I always was in love with fashion.
Hmm.
But just to be honest, like the insecurities in me, like I was just like, do I launch a fashion line? Like who's gonna want my fashion line? Who's gonna want to buy my clothes? Different things like that. And then sometimes we have ADHD. We just want to do too much at one time. So I just remember this was like 2020, 2021 when they finally let us back outside after COVID. And I was like, you know what? I was like, I never buy myself anything. I'm always buying stuff for everybody else. I'm going to go buy me a Louis Vuitton bag. And I'm going, I just had 1,500. And I was like, I'm going to buy me a bag. And I remember walking through Neiman Marcus and I was like, this isn't worth 1,500, because I'm real frugal, but I really wanted to spend some money. And I was like, this isn't worth 1,500. This isn't worth 500. I remember just walking through the store and I was like, I should make my own bag. And I was like, I should make my own bag. I should make my own bag, and then all of that stuff from me going to fashion school in New York and then, just being in love with interior design and just loving materials and all that stuff came together. And I was like, I'm going to try this. I'm really going to sit and try and call manufacturers up and draw something up and see how this goes. And it just kind of just went. And I'm the type of person that I always feel like if God says something is for you, then it just goes, like everything just kind of, things that you didn't have figured out before,
Just
in that
flow.
moment they just flow. And you're like, why 5 years ago I didn't get it, but all of a sudden nobody had to teach you and you're just getting it, you're
Yeah,
just getting it. So
yeah.
that's sort of kind of how the handbag game went for me, and it just went, and it's doing well. I mean, of course, with everything, it has its trials and tribulations, and this is new for me. So I'm learning, different things about the industry. But when I say, like, when I fell in love with hair, I have fell in love all over again with handbags. This is just like, this is my thing. This is my thing.
Okay. Now,
Yeah.
what sets LoveJennell apart in the beauty and fashion industry?
Oh, so what sets it apart is that number one is vegan because I am vegan. So all of my materials are vegan. I make sure I sort top quality leather, and I mean I'm stitching that thing down. I make sure the craftsmanship is good. So you're actually buying a good bag, and also when I do make my samples and things like that, I make sure I carry my bags for around 3 to 6 months just to see, what I'm selling my client is actually quality. So that's what I would say that sets it apart. It's not just something where I'm just purchasing a bunch of bags and putting my name on stuff. No, my stuff is drawn out, and designed, and stitched to quality, top quality.
Okay. Now,
Yeah.
the beauty and fashion industry are constantly evolving. We know
Hmm.
that. Sometimes it's just rotating itself back around from another
Hmm.
decade to another. But
Hmm.
how do you stay ahead of trends while remaining authentic to your brand's identity?
So to be honest, I don't go with trends. I go
Okay.
with class and style, and I make sure that my stuff lasts forever.
Okay.
It lasts forever, is always classy, is always in style. I don't really follow trends because trends come and go,
Yes.
but class stays forever. So even with my audience, like my bags aren't for anybody. Anybody can purchase them, but I don't have like a target audience that is just like, oh, this is for this type of woman, this is for that type of woman. It's for whoever likes quality, whoever wants a good bag, and that's who carries it.
I know that's right.
Hmm.
Now, you've been candid about balancing motherhood and business ownership. What
Mm.
habits or routines help you stay on top of everything without burning out?
Mm. I get burnt out. I get burnt out. But it's just, knowing how to take that burnout and get up the next day. And I would say that that is what my children play a big part in.
Mhm.
Just me knowing that I have to get up for them, knowing that I have to show up. And then that's the same thing in your business. Like if you want anything to thrive, you have to show up for it.
That's
Nothing is
right.
going to
That's
come
right.
to you if you don't show up for it. So just showing up for my children, and then showing up for myself, and then showing up for my business. So just even when I have those down days, because of course I'm human, we're all human. You're going to have your bad days, you're going to want to throw in a towel, but just
Mhm.
you come back and you can circle back, and do your daily prayers, and, find your strength with God or whatever. And you just bring yourself back. You bring yourself back.
Okay. Now let me ask you this. You've been both employee and employer in
Hmm.
the beauty space. How has your leadership style evolved and what key lessons have you learned about running a team?
Mm. So with me running the team, both of them have been great. Like me having a salon and then me working for someone. I feel like when you work with someone, the difference is you have to make sure that you're in a space with
Mhm.
people that are like you. And
Okay.
also people that you can actually grow from. So it's not even all the time about being in a situation where you're better than people. Sometimes you want to be in that space where people are better than you, so that you can set yourself around so that it can make you better. And then if you are a business owner, the opposite way, you want to be able to be the better person, so that your staff can rise themselves to be like you or better, you
That's
know?
right. That's
Hmm.
right. That's
Yeah.
right.
So
Yeah.
I would say being in the salon and, working for someone, you want those people to be higher than you, so that your standards are set high. And then the opposite way, if people are coming to work for you, then, you want them to look up to you so that they can reach their goals also.
Okay, awesome. Now, with
Mhm.
years of experience, what do you think is the secret to longevity in entrepreneurship, especially in industries as competitive as beauty and fashion?
Staying authentic,
Okay.
staying yourself, staying original, regardless, not, I always say, like, even in the hair industry, I never was one of those stylists who just constantly gave classes. And I didn't do that because, you have to keep something for yourself. You have to be able to teach people, but you can't give too much away. You know what I'm saying? So,
Yep.
that's what I would say. Like, just, being in that space.
Okay. Now, as a Black woman in the beauty and fashion industries, what unique challenges have you faced and how have you overcome them?
Oh, so just people, I would say the challenges with our people, and I mean, people are gonna be mad at me because I say this, but just for instance, just say, like, my handbags, right? Or just me doing hair, when I,
Mhm.
hairstylist, period. So it's like, I would say, I'm just gonna say hair color, for instance.
Okay.
Now, a person, black woman, white woman, or whatever, are going to a white Caucasian salon, and they automatically know that they're going to pay $600, $800. And it's never a question of why it's $600 or $800. But let alone if they come to a black woman and she's doing the same quality hair or even better, or in texture hair or whatever, it's always a question of why is this that much, or why is this that much, or why can't I get a deal, or XYZ. They always kind of tend to, count your pockets. And
Yep.
I would say that that's the same thing with my handbags. People are like, well, why is her handbag $400 and why is it $600? Yet you'll go to Chanel and you'll spend $5,000 without a doubt.
I was just getting ready to say, girl, don't get me started on how much these people spend on handbags and wigs, okay?
And it's not even a question, and you're not even meeting the owner, and
Yeah.
that's what I don't get. That's what I don't understand, is like when it becomes personal, like, well, this person is making this much money. And I feel like with Black women, that's what we have to get past, one, asking why this person is charging that, and asking why, and why is it the price is the price.
Listen, let me tell you something right now. A lesson that we all need to learn right now in this moment is that goods cost.
Mm-hmm.
So the cost of the goods go into the price as well as Jennell's time
Mm-hmm.
that goes into it as well. And these are custom bags. She
Mm-hmm.
makes these bags by
Right,
hand.
right,
So
right.
this is, you are literally walking around with art.
With custom, and
Yeah.
that, I think that's the thing that people don't get. They try to put a price on your custom. They
Yeah.
try to put a price on that, and it's like, but if you go into Chanel or Louis Vuitton, you don't even ask the question. You just
Yeah.
spend the money. But it's like, I have to go into, oh, they're vegan and they're made here and they're custom, da, 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 and they don't even ask this question.
Well, even with Louis Vuitton, you're not getting custom bags. Those are they sell the same bag over and over again. You go to Nordstrom's and get that bag, and you paying
Yes,
1,000 and something dollars for it.
yes,
Yeah,
yes. And it's like you have to dumb your prices down. And I think that's what we have to just get past, because I feel like if we spend that type of money with our own culture would just be,
we would feed back into each other.
oh my
Absolutely.
goodness. And I mean, we, as Black women, we don't mind spending it, but we always have that question of
We
why
always
is it?
question
Why is it?
ourselves, our
Mhm.
peers, as
Yeah.
opposed to supporting our peers. And with others, we don't question them. We just throw our support behind them.
Yeah,
I get it.
and that's the thing. And so I would say, like, that's one of the challenges, even with my handbag line, like knowing that my handbag, my vegan handbag is worth $1,000. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Probably because it's made better than Louis Vuitton, to be honest. So it's just me having to say that. Like, I shouldn't have to say that. You should already look
Again,
at
your bag
quality.
is custom.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Like this not a pre-manufactured where you making 10 of them at the same time. It's literally a custom bag,
Mhm.
right?
Yes. Well, I still have manufacturers, but they're custom making it and they're
Yeah,
custom designed. So it's not like I'm buying something that the manufacturers have.
right.
I have
You're
to draw
making
it,
things.
send it
Yeah,
in, and they have to make it piece by piece. And I even show all of that on my website, but it's still the question of X, Y,
right. Yep.
And I think that that is just what drives me banana. Like,
Now listen, representation matters. So how do you also use your platform to uplift and inspire other Black women who aspire to be fashion and beauty entrepreneurs?
mm. So I never really had anybody, not recently, like people wanting to be fashion entrepreneurs, but I did have women reaching out, when I was heavy in the hair industry and when I learned how to, well, when I got my teacher's license, because I'm proficient in cutting. Like that's my thing. So
Mhm.
I did have women, young women wanting to cut and wanting to do hair. And I've always been very supportive of that. Like, even I even had clients that sat in my chair and was like, oh, I think that I'm going to go back to school to be a hairstylist. And I'm like, you should do it. If that's something that you want to do, you should do it. Like, don't take my experience, because I feel like everybody's experience and everything is completely different, and it's
Yeah.
all
Yeah.
about what you put into it, whether you're making a bag, your dress, building a TV, like whatever it is, you have to have your own story. Just because I did something my way and it worked out for me, you might do it better than me and it work out even better for you. So,
Yes.
it's everybody has their own story. I'll give you as much as advice as I can, but I'm always the person that pushes someone to do their dreams.
Okay, now looking ahead, where do you see LoveJennell in the next 5 years? And what legacy do you hope to leave for the next generation of beauty and fashion entrepreneurs?
Mm. So where I see Love Jennell in 5 years is still growing, growing and just being everything what I think is going to be, and just adding different home goods to it, and just all of my creativity in one place, under the Jennell collection and under Love Jennell, and just different bags, and just really being a household name for Black women. Um as far as, what was the other question? I'm sorry.
What legacy do you hope to leave?
So the legacy I hope to leave is just that women can do it. Like, as long as you keep going, it'll eventually happen. And for people to look at my legacy and to be like, she did it, I can do it too.
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
Now, what advice would you leave or give to any young Black girl out there? Well, as a matter of fact, let me ask you this: if you could go back and give advice to your younger self
Hmm.
at the start of your entrepreneurial journey,
Hmm.
what would you say to her and why?
I would want her to surround herself with people that is like her, to line herself with mentors, and even if she doesn't see her way out, just to know that if she keeps pushing, that eventually the light is going to come, and she's going to get out. She's going to get out of whatever situation it is that she's in, as long as she wants to do that. You know.
I love it. I love that, Jennell.
Yes.
All right, so Jennell, I am going to drop off the screen and I
Yes.
want you to tell people where they can find you, where
Mhm.
they can find your products,
Yes.
and excuse me, and your social media sites for them to actually look and interact with you.
Okay. Yes. So, hi, I am Jennell. You can actually find my handbags on www.thejennell collection. That is TheJennellCollection.com. And you can also follow me on Instagram at LoveJennell.
You went way too fast. I was trying to type that and
Like,
put
wait a
that,
minute.
like I'm still trying to type it and put it
You know
across
I'm from the North Girl. I talk fast.
I was like, I'm trying to get it across the bottom of the screen so that the people can can go and find the website.
I got it. I'll do it again.
No, I did it. I
Oh, you
did
got
it.
it. Okay.
Yeah, I got it. I'm
I'm
like,
like, I'm from the North Girl.
girl, you
Listen.
just
There you
I'm
go.
still,
There you go. Okay.
I'm typing while you talking. Next thing I know, you like I'm done.
I'm like, wait a minute. I'm like, she said drop it, and listen, let me get on here because she done left me on here by myself. I'm trying to figure this thing out. This
She's like, she got me talking to these
I'm like,
people
she
by
got me talking
myself.
to these people. What am I supposed to say? It's so funny because when people like they see me and they think like, oh my gosh, she's just this bubbly person, and I'm actually so shy. Like I'm one of the person. I'm such a reclusive and just so and it's like it's funny because I will always people always get it like, oh, she's bougie. She doesn't want to talk. And it's not that I'm really just shy or I'm really just enthused with what somebody's talking about. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm really just really listening and in tune with somebody saying, but people would get it like, oh, she's bougie. She's not trying to be friendly. And I'm like, girl, I'm actually shy. I'm actually trying to figure out what
Yeah.
to
But
say.
people don't you're an introvert. You
I,
really yeah.
answer. So I'm
Yeah.
really introverted, and it's like
Y'all
all
don't
of
listen. Most creative people, believe it or not, are. And
I'm
like
an
when I tell
introvert.
people, now watch this, you gonna call me a liar. But when I tell people I'm shy, they be like, girl, stop. I say you have to remember, I put on because I gotta put on.
But I
But
get that. I get
yeah,
that. Like, and I'm like, but it's always been like that catch 22. They're like, she's so bougie. She doesn't talk. She's looking and I'm like, girl, I'm really listening to everything you got to say. I can repeat it. Like I swear that I'm into what you're saying. I'm just
yeah,
such a
yeah.
reclusive that it comes off, a little bit different. So
Yeah, no, but I get it. I get it.
yeah,
But you are a dynamic Black business owner and an
thank you.
extraordinary creative. You guys look across the bottom of the screen. That's
Yeah.
Jennell's website.
Yeah.
Please go check her out. Jennell, stick around for a moment because I want to tell you some more stuff. Okay. Now, you guys, I just want to say Jennell Moody's story is proof that when passion meets persistence, success is inevitable. Her journey from young stylist to business owner and designer showcases the power of self-determination and staying true to one's vision. As she continues to expand LoveJennell, her legacy is empowering women and breaking barriers in the industry. It's only just beginning. Stay connected with Jennell on social media and be on the lookout for what's next from her, from this inspiring entrepreneur and creative. And without further ado, please stay inspired, stay focused, and be happy. Goodbye.